Oh, it's my privilege this morning to introduce to you a phenomenal speaker. This gentleman, if you look him up on the internet, you will find so many things. He's involved in almost everything. He gives himself totally and completely. He is in the moment. He has clarity. And he has one heck of a sense of humor. I know you're going to enjoy him as much as I do, and it is my privilege and my pleasure to introduce to you Reverend Kusala Bhikshu.
I thought I'd start with a little song today. It's always a good day for song. This is Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, but in sort of a Buddhist way. Spin well, sweet on the wheel, humming for to wake me up. Spin well, sweet on the wheel, coming for to wake me up. Oh, well, I sat down to meditate, and what did I see? Coming for to wake me up. Band of Buddhas coming after me, coming for to wake me up. Spin well, sweet on the wheel, coming for to wake me up. Spin well, sweet on the wheel, coming for to wake me up. Well, if you wake up before I do, coming for to wake me up. Tell my friends that I'm awakened too, coming for to wake me up. Spin well, sweet on the wheel, coming for to wake me up. Spin well, sweet on the wheel, coming for to wake me up. Coming for to wake me up. Here we go. Thank you. I had a thought the other day that I wrote down. The older I get, the sooner they leave. I found it next to impossible to have an original thought with so many people thinking. 7 billion, I think, and they're all thinking at some level. Now, I have a Facebook page, and sometimes people post comments on my Facebook page, and this is a classic comment, and I wanted to share it with you. Hey, Mr. Kusala, I've listened to just about all your podcasts, and I really like them. I just want to let you know about a trend that I've noticed. It's that you're repeating common themes and ideas over and over. If you continue this trend, I will still listen to your podcasts. All I'm saying is that you might want to broaden your horizons as far as the podcast discussions are concerned. Well, you know, I needed to respond to this one. Usually I just let them go right by. But this one I wanted to respond. I said, yes, I think your observation is correct. You know, in the 45 years the Buddha gave Dharma talks, he only spoke about 2 things: why we suffer and how to end suffering. I'm doing my best to stay on message. Now, the title of the talk is, Who Are You? And I had this sort of idea. It started with a dream, and then it turned into a conscious reality of what would happen if I was just sort of walking down the street and the Buddha manifested, and he came up to me and he said, "Who are you?" Because that's a really profound question. It's the kind of question that you take your whole life to answer. So my first answer would have been, well, I'm human. Now the Buddha would have recognized that and said to me, "You're really lucky, because most rebirth is not human. So somewhere you had some good karma." Then he would say, "Who are you?" And I would say, "Well, I'm a guy. You can tell by my receding hairline. And I have parents, and I'm their son. And those genes and chromosomes that have caused my receding hairline are due to my ancestors." So he would have said, "But who are you?" And then I would have said, "Well, you know, I was born in Iowa and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. And each of those places have a certain tradition. They have legislation. They have certain ways they want you to think. They indoctrinate you. I'm an American. I've been indoctrinated. I have cultural literacy. George Washington cut down the cherry tree. Every American knows that. FDR started Social Security. Every older American knows that. And then he would have said, but who are you?" And I might say, "Well, I'm karma. Whatever I think, say, and do, I am the result of that. And that has continued from the beginning of time. And this is the karmic manifestation now. And what I say and do today will define me tomorrow." And then he would say, but who are you?" And I might say, "Well, I'm my 6 sense doors." In Buddhism, we have 6. I'm the eye and the eye consciousness. I'm the ear and the ear consciousness. I'm the nose and the nose consciousness. The tongue and the taste consciousness. I'm the body and the feeling consciousness. I'm the mind and the thinking consciousness. And because I have this information coming through my sense doors, I have a very limited experience of what the world is. I can't see as well as a hawk, or hear as well as a dog, or taste as well as I used to. I'm limited. And I construct my reality from this limited information. I never get it 100% right, because I never have enough information that enables me to do that. And if by some chance of fate or magic, I were to have all the information necessary to make a choice, in the very next moment, all that information would be different. It takes great courage to live when you don't know what you're doing. A wise man once said, "Don't believe everything you think." I have found that to be true. Then he might say to me, but who really are you? And I might say, well, I'm the 5 aggregates: form, sensation, perception, volition, and consciousness. The form comes in contact with other form. And because I have a rudimentary consciousness that's always alert at some level, a sensation arises. The Buddha said we have 3 sensations: good ones, bad ones, and neutral ones. And because of that sensation, aversion and attraction is created. If I want it, I have attachment. If I don't want it, I have aversion. But now I got to figure out what it is that I want or don't want. So we have perception. We have the naming quality. We've gone to school for a really long time. We have a giant vocabulary, so we can name as many things as we can in this world around us. If we can't name it, we can't use it. But in using what we have named, we live in an illusion. We're always separate from it. That's the only way we can use it. So to become one, which sounds sort of nice, would just leave us sitting in a room forever all alone, because we wouldn't know what a room was, we wouldn't know what a door was, we wouldn't have the concept of leaving or entering. We'd just be there. So we're really fortunate to be human and have so many words to use and so many different ways of experiencing and using the world around us. And that using comes from the volitional aspect of the 5 aggregates. We have to figure out how to use this stuff. So for instance, if I'm really thirsty, and last week I was really thirsty, it was a hot one, wasn't it? Whoa, so the I form hit the form of a water bottle. They came together. My rudimentary consciousness was alert, and it felt good. There was a good intention arising from the I and the water bottle coming together. Now I had to name it. It was water. I like water. It will satisfy my thirst. But now I had to use it. And thankfully, I had been taught over and over again how to open a water bottle, how to twist off the cap, bring it to my lips, and chug-a-lug. And if you've ever seen children trying to learn with utensils how to eat, you can see it's a skill level that they have yet to achieve. It's not easy learning how to use a fork and a knife. It's so much more gratifying just to use your hands. You know what I'm saying? And just stick it in your mouth. And because I have cultural literacy, when I went to Sri Lanka years ago, they eat with their hands. They have a little water jar and they put their hands and clean it off and they just shoveled it in. And what did I do? I asked for a fork. Because that's how I eat, with the fork. Though I must say I did put the fork down once and it was so much fun to eat with your fingers. I forgot, you can feel the food as well as taste it. So here we have form, sensation, perception, volition, and consciousness. That's what the Buddha said we are. He never said we're one thing. He never ever said we're one thing. We're name and form, consciousness and body. We're the 32 parts of the body. We're the 5 aggregates. It goes on and on. And I thought to myself, why didn't he want us to be one? What's the problem with one? Well, it seems there isn't a one. It seems there are many connected according to Buddhism. We can never break it down to just one in the same way you can't break something down into just atoms anymore. We have found there's something smaller than atoms. Protons and neutrons. Something smaller than that, quarks. Something even smaller than that, wave particle. As it turns out, it's all in how you look at it. But isn't everything that way? That the Buddha said, when you break it down to its smallest small, or you see the biggest big, what you keep coming up with is process, never event. Nothing stands alone, nothing stands apart. Nothing is one. It's always many that are connected. It's just another way of looking at it. It's just a different perception about the experience of being human. So then the Buddha might say, but really now, in a very conventional way, you have described who you are. But how about in an ultimate way? What are you really in an ultimate way? And I would say, I am empty. And he might say, you mean you're nothing? And I would say, oh no. Nothing and everything have the same definition. But I'm empty. Empty of what, he might say? I would say empty of independent existence. I am conditional. I need certain things for this process to continue. I need water, I need food, I need air, I need sleep, shelter, clothing. I need a whole lot of stuff just to exist. And if you take too many of my conditions away, I no longer exist. But I can never ever stand apart from those conditions. I am forever connected to them. In the same way, I am forever connected to everyone and everything on this earth. Even though in a conventional way, in a dualistic way, I feel separate, and because of that separateness, I can manipulate my environment. But the ultimate reality is I've never been separate. I've really never been me any longer than a moment. And if you wonder how many moments are in a minute, as many as you want. It's your choice. So I'm only me, moment to moment. I'm in process. I am evolving. I'm always becoming something else. Lately, it's just becoming old. But in that process, not having to be an event, not having to ever stop and say, I've done it, I can be anything I want. I can be everything I want. And if I get rid of my wants, what kind of freedom is that? Wouldn't it be nice not to have to be anything? Who are you? I'm nobody going nowhere. Which in reality is pretty much what we're all doing. We're all nobody going nowhere. We live for a while and then we die. According to Buddhism, then we're reborn again. We live for a while and then we die. And it goes on and on and on until one day you meet the teacher, we call him the Buddha, the one who is awake, and he says, I can help you. I know why you suffer, and I can help you end that suffering. I only teach two things, but it takes lifetimes to learn and do. And ultimately, in Buddhism, our goal is simple. It's to be free. Free from suffering. So who are you? I'll leave it up to you. I brought my harmonica today because Andy said, Kusala, you got to bring that thing. You don't play it enough. Okay, this is my new one. This is the little one. One of the interesting things about boundaries, people hate boundaries, but it allows you to be more free and more creative if you have less to work with. If you have 6 strings, you can make a lot of music. If you have 4 strings, you make less. If you have 3 strings, you wonder how much music you can make. So this is a 6-hole diatonic instead of a 10-hole, because I wanted to know how much music I could make. So here we go.